I will start with Kai Kufterschmidt from Science. Kai, are you on the line?
We've talked about this a couple of times, and I wanted to ask whether there's any new data on the serology. I mean, we're still trying to nail down the denominator. There's a lot of questions about how many people are asymptomatic. Can you say anything about, the newest data that you have? Is there any serology data from China?
So I'll start with that. So yes, Kai, this is something that's very important to us and to the rest of the world to really understand what the results will be from these serologic studies that are currently underway. What we can say is that there are more than a dozen countries who are conducting epidemiologic studies that involve serology. These countries are focusing on what we call the FFX protocol, which is looking at cases and controls. It involves molecular testing and it involves serologic testing. We're working with these countries to evaluate which assays they're actually using, and it will be a combination of a screening assay or an ELISA, as well as confirmatory testing involving microneutralization. In addition to that, there are a number of countries that are conducting these age-stratified general population serosurveys. WHO has a protocol that we've put out online, which is a core protocol, which we want countries to use so that we can compare results across these countries. At present, there's at least 4 studies that we're aware of that are ongoing in different countries, which involve the collection or the use of specimens that have already been collected. So these may be clinical specimens for people who have been hospitalized for other reasons. We don't have results yet. We are eagerly anticipating these results so that we could better understand what is the seroprevalence or what are the antibody levels amongst people at different age groups in different parts of the world. This is critical for us to really understand what level of circulation this virus may have or may have had in people that may have had a subclinical infection, so infection that has mild disease and maybe they didn't seek care or they weren't picked up through the current surveillance systems. But these are ongoing. In addition to that, we know that there are a number of serologic assays that have been developed. We're working with a number of countries right now to look at an evaluation of these to see how well they perform, and that needs to be done with well-characterized samples. We have really great partnerships across the globe to be able to do this. We're trying to accelerate this as quickly as we can. As soon as we have these results, we will share them, but they're really critical for our planning purposes going forward.
And if I might add that a number of these seroepidemiologic studies are grouped around a Solidarity 2 platform. So in effect, the organization and our partners have prioritized different research strands. Obviously, establishing which therapeutics were effective has been a major priority. But in addition to many of the studies that are going on across the world, there is now a wide group of researchers who've come together, as Maria has said, to implement a common protocol, which will be known as Solidarity 2. Solidarity 3 will look at chemoprophylaxis and other interventions in health workers. We are trying to align all of our work, not to bring together as many partners as possible. That is not to say that other large trials and other efforts around the world are not important. They are. But for some of the answers that are complex, we're going to need to pool data. We're going to need to collect data in a consistent and collaborative way. Seroepidemiologic data, clinical data, data on protection of prophylaxis. These are answers we need, and we need the right answers to drive policy.